Friday, September 23rd. Good morning. It's time for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning once again. It's time to get up. It is Friday. It's the end of the week. I made it. Imagine that. Did you make it? I hope you did. It's time to get up, get going to start the day. Time to get the children off to school. Time to get yourself off to work. Colin, good morning.
Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Barbados. There's always a little bit extra on a Friday, isn't there? You know, Monday morning is like, oh. Friday is like, yeah.
So
there
true.
You go. Yeah.
See me?
You feeling that
Ready.
way? Yeah.
We have a packed program for today, don't we? Oh, before we go into the program, I have an issue that I need to talk about. Early this morning, before 5:30, coming to work, this guy is trying to pass another guy in a corner. Buddy, I'm not sure where you were trying to get to, but at 5:30 in the morning, no traffic on the road, can't be in that much of a hurry.
I wonder about that. I wonder about those things.
Yeah,
You know? It's like, where could you be going in such a hurry at that time of the morning?
I'm thinking, unless you have somebody who is ill at home and you're trying to get to them
Call the
or
ambulance.
something, well, yeah, that makes more sense.
Because, you know, you don't have license to speed on the road.
And in the end, the ambulance may have to be called for you.
There you go.
Makes no sense
Don't want
whatsoever.
that. Tired of talking to all your boy. You don't listen. Anyway, we trying to keep it positive and, you know, but don't do that. Don't try to, especially with Lisa, you know, we go get real vexed.
Yeah,
With
imagine
anybody
that.
else.
No, not at all, not at all.
All right, so we gonna get into the thing?
Time
Some
for
top
the top lines. In this morning's top lines, CLICO policyholders are being told that they are in line to retain the full value of their policies. As part of the bailout plan for CLICO International Life Insurance Limited, devised by the judicial manager Deloitte Consulting Limited. The new Roman Catholic Bishop of Barbados has been told that he has been ordained at an interesting point in history. This message to the Most Reverend Monsignor Charles Jason Gordon was given by Archbishop of Port of Spain, the Most Reverend Edward Gilbert, in his homily at the ordination ceremony. A local business is on the verge of making it big on the international fashion scene. 91 Designs is one of 3 small businesses who recently returned from the Design Caribbean show in the Dominican Republic. The International Monetary Fund says the Caribbean's growth expected to reach only 1.7% in 2011, lags between Latin America's stronger projection. The IMF said when combined with Latin America, the overall region's growth is expected to exceed 4.5% in 2011. And those are the top lines for this Friday morning. Colin, you're going to take us through the international news now?
Yes, I will indeed. And I'm tired. Well, not tired, but I know it's probably trying now hearing all these financial stories every morning. But that's what's happening. It was supposed to be the month that European banks went back to debt markets to refill their coffers. It has not worked out that way at all. On the contrary, debt issuance by banks has slowed to a trickle at the same time that short-term interbank lending is drying up. And the financing drought raises questions about whether banks will have enough money to refinance their own long-term debt and still meet demand for business and consumer loans. And of course, global markets tumbled yesterday, extending their declines from the previous day as investor pessimism about the outlook for the European and U.S. economies was deepened by weak data from the Eurozone and a grim assessment from the U.S. Federal Reserve. Well, to get away from the money talk a little bit, the Pope Benedict divided the capital of his native land yesterday, saying Mass for more than 60,000 followers, and you might think that's a large number, but there were thousands of others outside who marched through the streets to protest his visit. So not exactly the triumphant homecoming one might suggest, but you know, there are always going to be dissenters and people who have an opposing view. We come home and at the top of the Nation newspaper, there's a line that says crime headache among primary pupils. Now, that's a story I would definitely like to read. But the main part of the paper is picked up by a story on CLICO. CLICO option guarantees full value to policyholders. It's called, the headline is called Payway, and 5 choices, of course, presented by Deloitte and Touche. On the back page, Windies in shape, ready to rock. They're not together, but Windies in shape. West Indies may be looking for a victory in England this weekend. Actually, first game in that T20 series is today, I think about 1 o'clock thereabouts. So if you're close to the TV, you might want to check it out. West Indies playing in that competition, which was started by the Stanford alliance with West Indies and British cricket. Of course, you know the story about Stanford, but unfortunately, when the British the British Cricket Board got the money from Sky TV for the series, they spent it all. So when Stanford went down, they couldn't pay it back, so they have to have these matches. The British cricketers are not very happy, but, you know, they have to play them. Plan for CRICO on the front page of the Barbados Advocate. Barbados and other Caribbean countries could very well be asked to inject millions of dollars into a new company under the proposed restructuring of CRICO International Life Insurance. Dealing with indiscipline is another story. Acting Chief Education Officer Laurie King, he was speaking at yesterday's meeting of the Association of Public Primary Schools Principals at the Erdiston Teachers Training College auditorium. And we always want discipline in the school. That's a place that we must have it. Let down, Director of the Office of Public Sector Reform, Michael Archer, remains disappointed with the lack of feedback from private sector organizations on the work being done by his department. So come on, give him some feedback. Call him up today. Say, you know what, we're a little bit late, but here's our feedback today. Some of the stories in the international and local papers. Yeah, big story, CLICO.
Interesting story altogether.
Yes, indeed. You know, I'm liking the fact that there's a possibility that all the investors may get back the money. I'm not liking the fact that governments would have to perhaps invest, you know, millions of dollars
that
there.
one will be tricky.
Yeah, but I'm also not liking the fact that I'm not seeing anything coming out of the hearings in Trinidad in the papers. I'm looking for it.
Ah, well, I know that we carried something about it yesterday. We carried something yesterday, very early in the news. So it looks positive. Things are moving ahead. We should be happy about that.
I suppose.
I'm sure we should be. So last night,
Yeah.
you know, me trying to get up early, going home, 5 minutes home, crashing. That went all through the window last night.
You were up again last night?
No.
You slept all night?
It was strange because I didn't get home until maybe 7 o'clock after doing some other work. So I'm thinking, I got home late. I should really be able to sleep.
You didn't sleep?
No, not so much. When I did get to sleep, in about 2 hours, I was up again. Shoot, it got be 4 o'clock. It must be 4 o'clock. I give up. I don't know when this thing will work
Get
out.
a good alarm clock and then, you
have
know,
an alarm clock.
leave it up to the alarm clock.
It makes no sense when you're trying to
It's called
anticipate.
Trust.
A
You have
clock.
to trust your clock. Yeah.
Do you?
I have the fullest faith in my clock. I go to sleep peacefully and I know at whatever time I set it for, it will wake me up in the morning.
Maybe you should lend me your clock.
I should do that indeed.
Oh,
I trust my
no.
clock implicitly. The day it doesn't work, it would have to be somebody else's fault. Not the clock's fault.
I couldn't understand
Maybe the
it.
battery, maybe the power company, not my clock.
I could not
We have a good
understand it.
relation.
I'm thinking, you will sleep because you didn't crash earlier today. I'm going to sleep.
See, I don't have that problem normally. When I go to sleep, that's it. You know, there was a time when things happening outside would get me up. It don't happen anymore.
Really? You're one of those people that would sleep through a storm?
Oh, yeah, I'm sleeping through that.
No.
I'm getting up and going outside in the morning and like,
Something happened?
that ackee tree finally fell.
Because you thought, what, the ackee tree genie came and cut it down in the middle of the night and took it away?
Is there such a genie, though? I mean, seriously, is there?
You never
Because,
know.
you know, if I can rub a bottle and something, well, that's another thought there inside.
So, if we're on genies, if you were to be walking down the road and a genie said, Colin, you have 3 wishes. Rub me, you have 3 wishes. What would they be?
I'd wish for more wishes. I want more wishes. Well, you know, what would I wish for, really? Seriously, though. It's a tough one because, you know, you always think you have all the answers.
Yeah, very true.
But I'm not wishing for world peace. You know, I'm just wishing to be able to avoid all the war areas because, you know, that's difficult. I don't even think, even if, you know, if you believe in God or Allah or whatever, could come down and make this world live together. It's just not going to work. We just have to, you know, understand that these sort of conflicts would continue and go on for a while.
Okay.
So I'm not even wishing for that. But, you know, I might probably wish to live long and healthy, you know, that
Definitely.
kind of thing. But then again, you always think that you want to live forever, right? But when you think about it closely, everybody you know will die. And after a while...
True, unless one of your wishes is for them to live long and healthy as well.
Well, now that I think about that too, some people who I love dearly, I probably would want them all around for the rest of my 400 years. I'm like, oh my God, why did I waste that wish?
So I think then...
What would you wish for?
Oh dear, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me. Because as we were talking, I was thinking, suppose he asked me that now, what would I wish for?
Sleep. Peaceful
To be
sleep
able
at
to
night.
sleep peacefully at night.
When I do
Perhaps.
morning Barbados.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
I actually do not know what I would wish for, because like you said, it seems as though we know all the answers, but then when you're put in that position, then what?
Yeah. You know, and this is a totally weird segue and everything. A lot of, we didn't talk about it yesterday because we didn't have time. A lot of the blogs and Facebook and everything was talking about that execution.
Oh yes.
In the U.S. yesterday. I think there were 2 executions in the
there
U.S.
were
yesterday.
2 executions, yes.
Yeah, but I'm not, I don't know, what are your feelings about execution and that sort?
That's a tough one, because I fully agree that if you do the crime and it's proven that you do the time, then you have to, you know, face the consequences. But in a situation where there is doubt as to whether, you know, you actually committed the crime, I feel like you should be given the opportunity, if there's enough doubt, even if you're on the verge of being executed, because you're taking a whole person's life. I understand that the family of the victim may want to feel vindicated, may want the closure, but you're taking a whole person's life, and if you can avoid it, punish them if they are guilty. You know, do that, but at least that one was hard.
Well, my take on it is
really
that I don't
hard.
mind executions if it's on the books. If it's on the books, we should do it. You know, otherwise, take it off and let's not even have the discussion. But if you ask me what I would like for a punishment, I would like something more long-lasting, something more meaningful. Execution is too instant in my book. I would like, you know, but that's another story. we have a whole program to do, and this discussion might take up the entire time. So
Yes, it
what we're
would.
going to do is
Take a commercial break.
Yeah.
We'll
So,
be right
take us
back.
a break.